Welcome back, welcome back. It's so good to see you again. This is our third segment. Of course, we're doing a marathon. It's 2 days, 5 topics. So I'm glad you are able to join us again for the third segment of today. And as I mentioned before, I'm a goddess and I declare I'm free. You see, when I take a look at you, you multiply me. Approval from men, I seek not to incur. You see, because the goddess in me love reflects and walks in her own destiny. There's so much to do that could never be done. Join me in love and laughter. Let's have some fun. I seek to build up, not to destroy. My joys today, I pray, reflect love and one universal sound. That's what our topic today, this segment, this hour will be about. Women living unapologetically in the 21st century. What does it mean to you to be unapologetic about choosing the life that you deserve? No more living in the past. His story, I am enough, is her story. You have to create, you have to tell, you have to write. If you need to rewrite and restore that goddess mindset, greater is he that is in me, then this is the time to do it. 21st century, no more excuses. You see, we can have excuses or we can have results, but we can't have both. And you have to choose to take responsibility for you, just like I have to choose to take responsibility for me. What do you want, woman? What do you really want? Take the time to go inside. Don't look outside, because outside things are very flaky and they're changing all the time, but what's constant is within you. So go to the goddess within and decide for 2020, get clear on what you want, because guess what? You can have it. You can have it, but you must know and be clear on what you want. So we have a beautiful guest here today, Miss Harriet. Before I introduce her, let me just tell you again, our topic is a new age woman living without apology. I know this sounds a little bit similar to what we said before, but it's going to be different, I promise you, because we're coming from a different perspective. And I know we have a different audience now. So, Harriet, tell me a little bit about yourself.
First of all, Shawna, I'd like to thank you for the opportunity to share this platform and stage with you today. And you know, the first time that I met you, it was like I was at an event. And I was there, had all my tools, but when you walked up, I said, that's it. This is what I'm here for, because one goddess recognizes another goddess. And I knew someday we would be here.
Wow.
Yes. And I'd like to start out by saying my name is Harriet Mitchell. I'm the founder and CEO of ConversateConnect.com.
Okay.
And I'm also a mother of 4 and a grandmother of 8. I'm a businesswoman. I'm a professional. I'm also playful. And I also have a personal life.
Okay.
So I'm well-rounded. And in the words of the famous Maya Angelou, a woman who walks in harmony with her spirit is like a flowing river. She goes where she will with no pretense, and she is prepared to arrive as herself and only herself. Harriet Mitchell, 365.
Awesome. I love it. I love it. You know, it's interesting that you mentioned Maya Angelou. When I did a show on Comcast maybe 2 years ago, and I had a poem that I wanted to share from Maya Angelou. And while I was doing the work to prepare for that show, I was given, I would say I received inspiration. And the poem I was going to read from Maya Angelou is called, A Woman Should. And it went down the list to name all the things that a woman should have or, be able to do and recognize within herself or within others. And what came up for me was a woman's worth. You see, because a woman who knows her worth is like a golden nugget that never loses its luster.
Exactly.
A woman who's guided from within is like a lighthouse you can trust to show you the way to honor the goddess within. A woman who's satisfied with her life is like a magnet that draws to it love, light, simplicity, clarity, and beauty in every moment. And you are that woman. You are that woman. You and you and you are that woman. And it's time for us to celebrate the truth of who we are. in this very hour. This is the hour for celebration. Can we change the topic a little bit?
Yes, we can.
Yes. So let's, celebrate the truth of who we are, because being unapologetic means I'm going to go with the flow of me.
Right.
Not you.
Right.
Not you, not you, not you. I'm going to go with the flow of me. And those who mind don't matter, and those who matter, never mind. Well, I'm Shawna Harriett. I know it took a long time for me to get to this point, but here I am. I'm Shawna Harriett. I'm a life evolution strategist. I am an inspirational success speaker. I'm an author. I'm an actor. I'm a little bit of this. I can do anything through Christ who strengthens me.
All right.
So today I am a talk show host.
All right.
With the most.
Okay.
Because I had a group of beautiful women, showing up today, and I just want to say I appreciate them so much. The ones that have come before you, Harriet, and then I want to give you thanks for being here right now. So let's go a little bit deeper. What do women today need to live unapologetically?
What women need today to live unapologetically is what I do. I'm a master collaborator. And I do these things, we go with the flow, and I do these things every morning. It's a quote. And I said, love life. And then as I got to work, and I posted it with a puppy laying on his stomach, on his back. And I said, get a belly rub, okay? And then what I said was, back in the olden days when they had the birthing women and they had the birthing chair and the other women would massage the woman, because you cannot inspire or interject into something into someone if it's not already there. So what we do as women, we rub and we massage what's already present so that it can be birthed in. And the thing that you need to do to live unapologetically is ask yourself the hard questions. Who am I? Why am I here? What am I going to do with the space that I occupy? Because you don't have to give me space. Like you said, nobody else has to give you space. When you come in the world, you occupy a space.
You're the space.
Right. And I said we all have a start date and we all have an end date. Mm-hmm. But we all have that dash. Mm-hmm. And what you do with that dash is what's important. Mm-hmm. So I asked the hard questions, Shawna. I say, who are you? Right? Not who has someone told you you are. Not what someone has told you you can do or can't do. Who are you? And a perfect example is when I was little, my dad passed when I was 5. But my oldest brother told me that I love to talk. And my oldest brother said that every time Dad would come and you would run and jump in his arms and he would say, here come Pee-wee. That's what my nickname. She loves to talk. But when my brother told me that later, I felt kind of pushed back because, as women, we talk to be quiet, not talk so much and all that. But I didn't recognize that my dad was recognizing my gift right then. So what you need to do to live unapologetically is go back to your original gift. You came in the world with you fully loaded. You operating at 100, okay? And the things that we have been through, they are just moments in time.
I was going to bring that up, because we had this conversation a couple weeks ago. Yeah.
They're just moments in time. And through life and through, our education or whatever, we have been taught that those moments are us. No, this is a new day. This is a new moment. We're 100 right here, and we're everything that we need. We're enough.
We're enough, yes. Her story, right? I am enough. Story. I am enough.
Yeah, I am enough.
Right, and as we rewrite her story, for some of us who have not began to put pen to paper to decide on what her story is and to rewrite that, is interesting also to know that, when a woman shows up, it's almost to ask herself, how am I showing up? How do I want to show up? don't just show up as the way somebody told you you should, or
Right.
kind of put you in a box to be this or to be that, but how can I show up for me, unapologetically? And that word is very, very loaded, because it's seen in such with such a dim light. People think when you say I'm unapologetic, that means I'm rude, and all those different negative connotations that come along with that. But how can we change the way that word is viewed, and for women to start stepping into that unapologetic space, and not to hate others, but to make me understand that she's a connector, a co-creator, a collaborator.
Right.
So.
The way I see that is a story and a journey is two different things. We tell our journey, but we don't tell our story. And as I wrote in my book, my grandmother used to always say, you say, how are you? She say, I'm fine. But the half has not been told. Okay, so when a woman shows up in her space, she brings her story. Not her journey, but her story. The story is our intentions when we do things, how we do things, how we show up. That's our story. You're never going to be able to tell that, because number one, you don't remember it all.
Right.
Number two, it's, people, that's why when someone approaches us, especially a woman, accept that woman as who she is.
Mm-hmm.
Don't prejudge her. Don't try to figure out anything, because you're never going to figure out her story.
Mm-hmm.
Take what you can use, leave what you can't use.
Mm-hmm.
And once you go through life like that, you say, unapologetically, I'm not arrogant, but I'm 100, okay? I was in school one time, and they give you this thing, and they said, rate yourself from 1 to 10. So I put down 10. Now, if I would have really said how I was feeling or my story of how I arrived that day, I probably would have said a 5. Then I would have went into brrr. But no, bam. When you arrive 100 on the scene, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I say, if I can't rate myself a 10, what do I expect from you?
Right.
Right. Because when I show up, I'm bringing it all.
Right.
Everything that I have, everything that I have been, everything is right here, present with you right now. And this is what women need to understand. I'm not my past. I'm not in my future. I'm right here.
Right.
I'm my present.
I'm my present. Right.
Right.
Now
And
is important.
Now it's important. I should be here with you 100.
Right.
Because if not, I'm going to miss something. But we have been taught to be like we multitask or multifaceted, where we could be focused on all these many things at one time. No. Tunnel vision, laser focus.
Right. And I like where you said whenever you show up, you're 100%. Because, just like you, when you put that 10 down on that paper, that's how this is it.
That's it.
In this moment.
That's all I got.
Right. In this moment, I'm a 10. And I'd say all the time, I'm playing with a full deck.
I'm playing with a full deck.
I'm playing with a full
Right.
deck. So, whatever card come out that day, honey, that's what it is.
We're playing.
And I think sometimes when we, as women, we judge each other so much, and we're even studying some of the cultures in other countries, it seems like the women, the older women, the younger women, whatever, they're all collaborating to keep this women down. Some of the things that are done with women's mind is other women.
Right.
It's not men that are doing this stuff.
Mm-hmm.
So how do we get to the point where as women, we don't condone putting down other women? How do we get to the point where we realize that, if we're all going to rise, then I need to be the one to ripple to others. And I'm not going to be a part of a conversation. I'm not going to be a part of a community that is putting down anybody. Not other women, not men, because, many people feel, in this conversation that I'm having and this new age thought that's going through me and rippling throughout the work that I'm doing, is that it's about hating men. Mm-hmm. You see, anything you hate, love can't create.
Right.
So if I hate anything, it comes from me 1st.
Mm-hmm.
It has to come from me to go somewhere else.
Right.
So how do we get to the point where, as women, we don't become a part of the problem of hating other women, where we stand up and say, you know what? I don't know my sister's story. I don't know where she's been. Nobody have to tell us nothing. They don't have to tell us where they've been for us to love them right where they are.
Right.
So how do we get into all of that?
It comes from tradition. A lot of things are tradition and beliefs. Every day you have to re-examine, what do I believe? Who am I? You know, yesterday I may have judged her, but I'm not going to do that today. You know, we got to be willing to say, I was wrong. I was wrong about you. And then there's some good in everybody. You don't take 100% of me. I'm not going to take 100% of you. We don't take 100 of nobody, right? But take what you can use, leave what you can't use. You know, because maybe that's what they needed to get where they are. And like I tell people, I said, one thing that you could take and live with, maybe something I can't take and live with, and vice versa. So if I was her,
Right.
but let's not get it twisted. I'm not her. And she's not me. So therefore, when I talk to people, or, you know, we just collaborate, and I say, I can't say, if I was you, Shawna, because I can never be Shawna. You can never be Harriet, right? But that's a good thing. Right?
Yes.
So it's like, I can't say that because I'm not you.
Right.
And so I have to allow you to be in your season. Now, whether I like it or not, I have to allow you that space to be in your season. And then, you know, like I said, I have to locate myself. Every day, we all have a starting point. And we say, okay, where am I today? I may not be where I was yesterday. But we so used to getting up on automatic. This thing is a manual thing. Life is run manually. And see, I was a truck driver, so they told me that if you drove a truck and you didn't drive the stick, you wasn't really driving the truck. So that's how it is with life. If you're not operating and shifting and transforming as we do as women, you know, because I think about the birthing process, women go through, poof, 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 you know, and then that body goes back. So that's what we got to do. So we got to change 2020. Change your vision. Get clear. What are you looking at? What do you want to see? I see in you what I want to see. What I choose to see. You see in me what you choose to see.
We're a reflection of each other anyway.
Exactly.
So it's like, you know, to compare or to even put ourselves to say, if I were you, I would do this. We always, you know what's interesting, and I know I have done this. Is it time for confession?
Yeah. Always.
It's like, you know, it's like saying, you know, a friend comes to you and they say, well, you know, this is what's happening, blah, 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 blah. Girl, if I were you, we always know what we're going to do when we're not in somebody else's shoes.
Exactly.
Right. And then sometimes the table does turn where we are in that position, and that's when we have like the eye of the OMG, you know, now I know, now I can relate to that person. But, you know, in asking ourselves that question is saying, how can a woman expect her children to walk, talk, and be strong when she walks with her head bowed down? You see, I heard of saying once that a woman ought to know her place and be silent, let a man lead the way. Say what? You see, following behind a man ain't nothing but a trap. A woman came into this world through another woman. If that's not as clear as shit, let me ask you this. Where is a man when the babies are crying? Who reaches out to hold you when you feel like dying? A man does have his place, and so does a woman. But don't tell me to step back and walk in a man's shadow. I am a queen, a goddess indeed. I came here to add, subtract, multiply, quantum leap. Some may say, ooh, she sounds angry. It's passion for truth. Truth that the goddess in me will revolutionize many. You see, I'm a creator. I give life.
Right.
I came into this world birthing nations. We do. Where does a nation come from? A man or a woman? A combination. A combination, right?
A combination.
So we are liberators of soul.
Right.
So, woman, we don't have to sacrifice ourselves and deny ourselves to be whole. It's time for us to stand up and be who we were created to be, and know that we are great contributors to life, and we don't have to step back in the shadows. We can stand up and be bold and be unapologetic.
Exactly. And that leads me to my next thought, that we as women have been taught not to wear our feelings on our sleeve. Two things you should ask yourself as a woman every day. What does it look like and what does it feel like? Right? I got a right to feel, right? You got a right to feel. They got a right to feel. But we have been taught take it. And strong women don't feel, or strong women don't show emotions. No. We're like an animal instinctively. If it don't feel right, guess what? It's not right. So we can follow our personal paths by following our feelings. Like I said, your feelings lead you to where you need to go, and my feelings lead me to where I need to go, right? So that's two things that we need to put back on the table as women. What do I want? What does that look like? And how does it feel?
And how does it feel? Feelings are important.
Feelings are important, right? Because that's where we readjust that right there. When you go down, and you could even be making a wrong turn on the street. It don't feel right, But if you keep going, you're like, I knew that. Trust yourself.
We don't trust.
We don't trust ourselves. We have been taught not to trust ourselves. You should trust yourself when you don't trust nobody else. Even if you go wrong. Don't mean you always gonna go right, but owning your life. See, that's one thing we don't want to do. We want to be able to lay the blame at somebody else's feet. No, I did that. Oh, I did that too.
It was all me.
But it was all me. But so when I recognize that it's all me, then I have that same power to say, well, Harriet, you can get it right. Because Shawna didn't do that to you, or Shawna didn't make you do that. You did that. So next time, you make a different choice.
So just to kind of add to that, how important do you feel is communication as we collaborate and connect with each other, and not see each other as competition, but see each other as co-creators and collaborators, and I like to use your word, collaborators, in creating a beautiful life for myself, and then also making that happen for the woman or the goddess I come in contact with.
That's perfect, because the reason I started Conversate Connect was because people don't know how to conversate anymore. We don't know how to be honest with one another. And what it means is not mean that you're all right and I'm all right, because what a collaborator does is I allow you to start out here. That means we bring in everything, right or wrong or indifferent. And then we narrow down what is the issue. Because a lot of times we feel like this is the issue, but that's not the issue. This is the issue. But we say all these other things because we don't have the courage to say, I'm hurting and this is why. This is what I want. This is what I need from you. Can you deliver that? If you can't, it's no problem. But I need to be able to say, and I need to have that freedom to say what I want, what I need, and you need to be able to say, I can't deliver that. You understand? And in collaboration and communication, both of us may not get everything we want, but at least everything's on the table. You can look through my eyes, per se, and I can look through yours. And then we could come to a consensus and say, well, we can't do all of this, but our next step is we can do this.
Right.
Right. Because every day is lived by the second, the minute, the hour, the day. We all have those 24-hour segments called life.
Right.
And that's how we live it. So communicating is first being honest with yourself. Number two, you got to identify what you want, not what somebody else wants or what somebody else wants from you. You got to identify these things because only you can bring those. I can't bring them for you.
Right.
And then what's your intention? Because our intention, it changes as we go.
Yeah, it does.
We start with one intention, and then we're like, oh, okay, and then we go on with that. But you got to be honest enough to say, you know, my intention with you started as one thing, but now it's something else.
Mm-hmm.
But instead of that back thing that says, oh, no, you know what my intention is, and I'm not feeling that, right?
Mm-hmm.
So when we communicating and you talking to me, I feel that distrust. I feel that dishonesty. I feel you're not being honest with me,
Mm-hmm.
and vice versa.
Right.
You know, like my grandma used to say, ain't nobody believing that story but you.
And you know, that's so true because I read a book one time and it says, you know, sometimes we feel we're hiding things from people,
Mhm.
and the truth is we're hiding it from ourselves.
Right.
Because people recognize certain things within us, and sometimes they won't even acknowledge or say anything, but they know when I heard a saying once, Millie, what was it? You need to sit that shit down.
Yeah. You need
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah. And then nobody asked you to tell me a lie.
Right.
That was your decision, because I can
decision.
tell it's a lie.
Right. And that bridge of communication
Right.
breaks right then.
Yeah.
Because our defense mechanism go up, everything, our hair, you know, it's like, whoa, okay. So the rest of what you say after that doesn't mean anything.
It doesn't even matter.
It doesn't matter.
Wow. So, Harriet, you are like I would say, a Renaissance woman. You've had, you know, quite a bit of experience. What would you say to women, you know, in this day and time that are still choosing duty over destiny?
My quote is, my title is what I do. My name is who I am, okay? Because my name is going to be with me forever. My title is it changes, right? And we get so connected with titles. That's not who I am. I'm Harriet. I'm Harriet Mitchell, 24/7. Now, I have not always been able to say that. You know, I have been, you know, shamed because past tries to come up. Who is Harriet? You know, when people say, who are you? Now I could bring the whole bowl of salad to the table. This is who I am, okay? You ain't got to eat the whole thing, but know this. This who and I own all of it, every bit of that. You understand me? So, therefore, to the new Renaissance woman, bring it all. Be you. Be you. Don't be a title. Don't chase this. Don't chase that. At the end of the day, you are with you more than you with anybody else. Mm-hmm. Now, I love my kids. I'm a mom. I love my grandkids. I'm a grandma. I love my job. I work there. But at the end of the day, I'm with Harriet. When there ain't nobody else there, I'm there. And it's okay. It has to be all right to be with you. Mm-hmm. We're always looking for other people to validate us or to be around or whatever. You got to be able to pat yourself on the shoulder and say, you're all right, good job, girl.
And I know you're very much into the moments, and I like to share M&Ms.
Yes.
Magical moments,
Oh, okay.
You know, meditative moments. So what would be a moment for you to share with our audience today? What is that moment that you always say is just a moment in time?
Just a moment in time.
Give us an example of that.
A moment in time with me is, if I'm understanding you correctly, is when I feel myself totally in this moment. You know, because it's like, you know how Whitney Houston would say, that one moment in time when I'm more than I thought I could be. You know, I mean, when I hear that song, it's like, whew, because you don't know my story. You know, only I know my story. So when you see me acting arrogant or you see me all full of myself, I am. Because I'm more than I thought I could be. You know? So that's why I said one moment in time. Right now, I'm being more than I thought I could ever been.
Awesome.
And I'm looking for more. 2020.
Oh, that is awesome. So, even when I think about moving forward to 2020, I know, some of my history, right? Because, you have to recognize his story so you can create her story. That I'm more than enough and I'm a goddess for life. There were times in my life when I knew I wanted to give up. I contemplated suicide. I invested my money and lost all of it. I came to the United States at age 16, and it was a culture shock for me. My life was turned upside down, so to speak. I had 4 children by age 25. If I wanted to live in that space, that history, then I could not. I couldn't. I don't think I could have been in this moment, because all those things could have been like that imposter syndrome. Shawna, you don't deserve that, and that stuff plagued me for a long time. Is there anything that you want to share with the audience to help them to see that where you've been is not necessarily have to determine where you're going?
Perfect. When I was age 14, I was pregnant. I had my children, a set of twins, when I was 15. So I used to always feel like I would never catch up. All my friends were moving on, doing stuff in school and, seeing, quote unquote, not being a parent. Now me, I had to go to school and parent. And I would always find myself trying to show them that I caught up. But as soon as I catch up, they say they left me again, right? And I would be at jobs and they would be like, it wouldn't take them 10 seconds to figure out, how old are your kids? And how old are you? You were 15. How did you, people would they would recreate that story over and over again to you. And the way that we allow them to create it, because for a long time, like you, I allow people to recreate my story, which they didn't know my story. Because I'm more powerful than you, because I started there, you started somewhere else, but yet we're in the same spot. So who has more power if we're looking at power, if we're looking at determination? At those times, yes, I thought like you. I thought that I wanted to commit suicide. I felt like, my life was over. I never catch up, all these type things. Then I got older. I broke my leg. I was in the hospital. They said I was just going to cut my leg off. And, my mom was like, no, no, no. And they said I'll never walk again. All these things. And then, my grandmother, a wise lady, and I wrote my book based on her. She said, do not despise small beginnings. Because it seemed like everybody else was, And it was one day, a couple of years ago, I was in my apartment. And I was thinking about writing the book and doing some things. And, we want to leave those things out, because we don't want people to know about them. And a lot of times, when I was going through life, people would ask me stuff, and you know how we do, we shy out the room, because we don't want to be in that conversation. Everybody else talking about the quote-unquote normal life, my husband, my kids, my this, my that, and all that, and that wasn't my story. I had kids at this age and then they, well, how'd you do that, so all this type stuff. So I would just kind of scowl out, and a lot of times, like I told my daughters, I said, a lot of people didn't know me. They knew of me, but they didn't know me. Some didn't know I had kids, some didn't know I had them this early, some didn't know that, not because I lied, but because I just left that part of the story out. Because like you said, we don't want to relive that. But once I decided to find power in that story, that's my story. I own all this. It's mine. These my kids. These my 8 grandchildren at the age of quote unquote, But a lot of people, they ain't even here today, Shawna. We still here.
Right.
And my grandma always said, keep living. So when I kept living, then I got past those moments.
Okay.
But some people never get past those moments.
Mm-hmm.
And that's why we are here. That it massage that moment, to let you know you too can do it.
You can do it.
And we can do it, and we are doing it. And we're no different than you.
No. Courage and confidence to me stems from within. And there is no place outside of yourself. There's no place outside of yourself that you will find what you need that's going to sustain you. Things outside of ourselves are continually passing. They're continually, they're here today, they may be gone tomorrow. But what's within us is always that sustenance. And we have to go within us to find the confidence and create it. Because sometimes we have to dig really, really deep to find it. But then we also have to surround ourselves with people. And this is where I want to take this conversation now. How can we... What do you suggest on women out there now that really wants to live unapologetically, but just kind of still shying away from it because they're afraid of what others are going to say? How can we surround ourselves with people that are actually moving in the same direction that we are?
What I found was that I tried to surround myself with people like mine because that's what we have been taught. But actually, the people who are not like-minded have made me the sharpest. And what we have to do is learn how to flip those instances in our life. I hear what you're saying. I see what you're doing. However, this is how I'm going to interpret it. Because we have that choice. Mm-hmm. And this one young lady at my job, young people always have a saying. And I kind of adopt some of them. And she said, I'm going to leave that right where you dropped it.
I like that.
And I was like, okay, I'm going to take that one. Because we do. Mm-hmm. We cannot. And, you see in the world now where we try to protect our kids, we try to protect ourselves, we try to protect our mind, we try to do all these things like that. But we come fully equipped. We got airbags, mm-hmm. internal, mm-hmm. Back up, you too close to the car, that type thing. I'm going to leave that right where you dropped it. And that way you're not being in environments where you allowing the environment to control you. Mm-hmm. Once you step in that environment, you need to own that. Mm-hmm. I own this space.
Right.
Mm-hmm. You own that space. I'm not in your space, mm-hmm. but it's all this right here, mm-hmm. right now, while I'm occupying, belongs to me. Mm-hmm. Right? And so that's what we need to do. We have been telling that a while because that's where our children get hurt, that's where people get hurt and all that because we try to protect our environment. Can you do that?
I don't believe so.
Is that even realistic?
Mm-mm.
No.
And that goes back to also trying to change someone. Yeah. If that person's own higher self can't do it, how can we, what do we do to take the time to change someone? Then how do we live our lives? Right. The best way I find that we can live our lives, and to goddesses out there that are listening, and to be unapologetic, is to be the example. Right. To be the trendsetter, to be the trailblazer for what it is you believe is the path for you. And that will allow others and give them permission to go on their trail versus having to follow you. You don't have to follow me. I can be an example, but at the end of the day, you have to choose what direction is right for you. Right. And I can't take responsibility for you.
And then that's why, I don't even want anybody to say, Harriet did this, did that. No, you did that for yourself. Mm-hmm. Because Harriet not going to always be here. Like I tell my kids, Mama not always going to be here because Mama going to live her life, okay? But, so let's be clear. But the thing about it is that I kind of lost my train of thought. But as you were saying about, repeat what you just said, the last part.
Girl, I can't remember. I'm in the flow. We can go in a different direction.
Yeah, we can go in a different direction.
We're just going to go with the flow right now.
Yeah, but like I said, you don't want to ever make somebody else or something else your guide. Because believe it or not, I got it back. Believe it or not, if you follow your own inner self, it won't lead you wrong. It'll lead you in front of the people you need to be in front of. It will lead you down the path that you need to be. But the key thing is learning to trust that instinct, right? Because you know how we say, I ended up here, I ended up there. No, for real, we didn't end up anywhere. We went there.
Right.
Yeah, I went there. So we need to recognize that. I went there, and I could have went there. I had a mind to go here. And sometimes, you know, Shawna, we try to make things hard. We think that life is hard. Life's not hard. We make it hard because we've been taught. What?
And we overanalyze.
And we overanalyze. Your mind say go, go.
That's it. Period.
Right, period.
What you got coming up? I see you have some stuff over there.
This is just the CEO magazine I was in when they did my brand for Conversate, Connect, and Go. And it's Conversate Connect, but I also have on Conversate, Connect, and Go. Because I want you to be able to conversate, connect on some levels, and then be able to go. Okay? And then this is my book, Going. It's on Amazon, and it was inspired by my grandmother. My grandmother never told us what to do and what not to do. You know what her favorite line to us was? She would say what she had to say, and she'd say, but do to suit yourself.
Okay.
So,
That wise grandmother.
Wise.
Because I like the part you shared one time, take what you can, leave what you don't.
Take what you can.
Life will always present you a lot. Options are good. I love options.
I love it. But you have to take what's for you.
Right.
And I have to take what's for me. And vice versa. Leave what you can leave.
Right. So what you got coming up this year?
Right now, I'm day by day.
Okay.
Moment by moment.
Okay.
You know,
in the Eminem.
Yeah, Eminem. And that's what the way I found out life is easier. I have plans. We have projections because that's what we do as humans. But every day, as life presents itself, then I walk through those doors.
Okay.
And a lot of times, becoming a new age woman, that's what you have to do. You have to break it down. Because a lot of people are suffering from anxiety and depression and different things, which, we all go through those stages. But sometimes you have to break it down to the second, the hour, the moment, the day.
Right.
Don't bite off too much because I don't need to get vertigo now in my process. I need to keep, when I feel a little dizzy, slow it back and just let it happen.
Allow yourself to feel it.
Feel it. And
Feel
then,
what's happening.
Yeah, then when doors open, I don't kick down any doors no more.
No.
No, I walk through only open doors.
I love it. They open for a reason,
They
right?
open for a reason.
I know.
Right.
And sometimes we stare too long at the closed door. We don't even know that
We don't even know that the other door is
already
open.
open.
We standing in front of that one.
Yeah.
24/7. No, when it opens, okay, that's the one for me.
That's the one for
Right,
me.
exactly.
Oh my gosh. So as we get to the point where we start to wrap up, one of the things I want to share with women, and these two poems that I share are kind of my go-tos.
Okay.
So it's called Release Her. I want you to release her, let her be. I want you to honor her, love her, nurture her, please. Give her time, give her care, give her space to be clear. I want you to love her and release her unapologetically. And then, I want you to take a deep breath in this moment. Life is precious now. There's no need to store it. In nature's walks around soundless at its peak, let's lift our eyes to heaven as we humbly speak. Oh, Father, Mother God, you are our rock and our light. An immense God, give us wings of flight. We don't have to feel discouraged or lonely because you are our strength and our glory. So as we become new age, thinking new, changing our mindset, shifting and pivoting to be that woman, to tell her story, and to move forward in a way that is rewarding, not only to myself, but how I contribute to the world, then unapologetic not only means that I'm choosing to be me in a way that is right for my soul, deep within, but also in a way that I can contribute to the greater society and women in a better way. What is unapologetic as we wrap up? Making our presence and contribution a generational gift to nations. How can we do that moving forward, 2020?
Moving forward in 2020, live your best life. Live your best life every day, every moment, every second, because nothing is promised to you. Don't take people for granted. Don't take situations for granted. Find the best in everything. Then it makes your pathway smoother, right? Don't live your life for someone else, because only you can make your mark in the world. Like my grandmother, she's made her mark in the world. She's still living. I'm still talking. I'm still walking. People still learning from the life that she lived. She didn't live for us. She lived for herself. But because we saw that, we're able to do that. And not only us, people in our neighborhood, everybody who met my grandmother have basically the same mindset about her. And so at the end of your day, what do you want people to say about you? Or what do you want people to remember about you?
Her story.
Her story.
Her story. Wow. So just remember, a goddess is born, she is not crowned. No. Woo. Let's take it. Scratch. The old records, right?
Right.
A goddess is born. She don't have to wait to be crowned. Some say act like a lady, think like a man. And I say that's a piss poor excuse and a pathetic plan. So it's time for us to be unapologetic. It's time for us to wake up and step into what is her story. Take the time, woman. 2020, get clear on your vision and know what it is that you want to write. Her story. Tell it, live it, be it, unapologetically. And I think Jean has something for us. And if you want to connect with me, www.prismoftransformation.com. I have a new book coming out. I have a lot that I'm working on myself, but in the meantime and between time, tomorrow will be the second day of this 2-day marathon. I have 2 more segments coming up, and I hope you will join me tomorrow at 9:30. See ya, Jane. What do we have here? Oh, thank you, Harriet.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Awesome.
I'm honored to be in your presence.
Well, I appreciate you. Thank you, Jean. Thank you, Michael. Thank you, the audience. Thank you, Melagris. Awesome. All right. See you guys later.